Australian taxation, tax summary. All colonies of the lucky country were collecting tax by the 1900s, but often by different rates and different methods depending on their location. The land tax that haunts so many Australian real estate investors these days was established in 1910 by the Commonwealth Government, with an effort to encourage those who owned land to subdivide it and sell it to settlers, therefore reducing the amount of tax they had to pay on it. The outbreak of World War I meant the introduction of even more taxes on goods and services, mainly due to their short supply. The real major change came in the 1940s when the Commonwealth Government introduced pay-as-you-earn tax that we are all very used to today. Another big change, and one that is extremely monumental for property investors, was the introduction of capital gains tax, CGT, in 1985. The CGT was originally a means to prevent tax avoidance and, of course, tax the profits made on the sale of certain assets, housing included. At the time when CGT was first introduced, negative gearing was also abolished. This was not a good year for the real estate investor. Negative gearing was reintroduced in May 2001, but we have no assurance that it is here to stay forever, although for the best interests of the housing market it would appear to make sense. Investment advisors spend a lot of time stressing the importance of acquiring assets which will encourage capital growth. It is useful for investors to consider the tax implications of their investments and work these into their overall investment strategies. The dynamics of the Australian market will continue to be redefined, and the government will continue to make changes to their tax allowances. Contingency plans should always be part of the savvy investor strategy, and real estate investments should never be entered into for the benefit of a tax break only. History should tell us that this may not last long and is therefore a very risky investment approach. My knowledge tips. 1. All colonies of the lucky country were collecting tax by the 1900s. 2. A change that was extremely monumental for property investors was the introduction of capital gains tax, CGT, in 1985. 3. Negative gearing was reintroduced in May 2001. 4. Real estate investments should never be entered into for the benefit of a tax break only. History should tell us that this may not last long and is therefore a very risky investment approach.